Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am decluttering our closets and doing a clean of all of our bedrooms as well as our kids' playroom. As you can see, it was a perfect day to do this. We've actually had a lot of rain the past couple of days. Today it rained from first thing in the morning until dinner time, so it was the perfect day to do this. And on days like this where it's dark and rainy, one of my favorite things is to have the crock pot going, and also because I did want to be able to focus on the cleaning, I figured it was perfect to just put something in there and then I didn't have to think about it. So we're doing keto approved burrito bowls. It's just ground beef, some taco seasoning, and I make it from scratch just because packaged taco seasoning does have some sugar in it, and then a little bit of beef broth that I needed to use up from the fridge. So I'm just starting in my closet. I'm pulling everything out. I do already have some things set aside, clothing for myself, as well as honestly some things in the back of the car that, to be honest with you guys, have been in there for about a month now. It's some bike helmets that don't fit our kids anymore, some kids' books, and a few other things. And those were in the back of my car, and I figured it's the new year. We just went through Christmas. I need to go through and purge everything. So I'm going through and just getting rid of clothing that doesn't fit me very well. I've been losing some weight over this past year. I had my fourth baby. She's almost a year old now. I do have 4 kids, so it's been a long journey getting rid of all of the baby weight, but that's finally gone. And I'm going through all of my clothes that just aren't fitting me well anymore, or clothes that honestly I do still have some maternity clothing in here, like some shirts. And then just my style evolving over the past year. I did have a lot of things that I found I just wasn't wearing on a regular basis. So I'm going to be donating all of those and making some room in my closet for the spring weather. We do live in southern Louisiana right now, so the spring temperatures hit us a lot sooner than you guys that might be up in the northern part of the country. So we do have the temperatures warming up here probably by, I think, about April or so. It's going to start getting warmer. So I just wanted to go through and do a purge. I absolutely love going through and decluttering and purging. We do move fairly frequently, so it is never horrible. I don't ever have a huge amount of things, just because with moving, that's also something that you want to do, going through and decluttering. But this felt great to do today because I did have a good amount of things that I needed to get rid of. So this is what I'm going to be getting rid of. It isn't a crazy amount. Like I said, I don't have a whole ton of clothing, but it felt amazing getting rid of all of these things because I haven't worn some of this stuff in probably close to 2 years. So it was really great to go through and get all of this done. And then I'm going to be just cleaning up my bedroom a little bit.
You're so different, kind of ignorant. You don't care what people say, people say, people say. I'm going crazy for your baby. Don't know how you're making me feel this way. What can I say? That's what I like about you. So dangerous. I get this rush.
So I'm using these Method products to wipe everything down today. This is the Method All Surface Spray in the grapefruit scent. I really love this scent. I've talked about it before. And then I've got the Method glass cleaner, glass and surface cleaner that I like to use for our windows and our mirrors.
There will come a time for when we can wash away our sins, settle down, but until then, we're like a
And today is just another day at home with the kids. I do homeschool, so they are all here. My older 2 are doing their schoolwork right now. You saw Dane earlier. He had a question on his school papers. And then this is my 3-year-old, and he's usually the one that's hanging around with me when I'm doing these kinds of things. He loves to be involved and talk to me while I'm cleaning, which is a lot of fun. I do really enjoy that. And then my baby is sleeping right now, but through this video you will see the kids in and out quite a bit, and that's just my life. They're always around and it is a lot of fun having them around, but it does make things take a while longer. This video probably took me, I think, about I think it was about 4 hours to do this video, and that's just life with kids, having to stop and help the kids with their schoolwork, feeding them lunch, you know, hanging out with the baby, all that kind of stuff just makes everything take a while, but it is really fun having them around. So once I finished with our bedroom, then I wanted to go upstairs and get going on the kids' stuff, and I began in Avalie's room. She had woken up, so I knew that I wanted to get this done before she was ready for her second nap. And this is when you'll see a lot more of the kids, because Nora was taking a break with her schoolwork, and Dane, my 5-year-old, had just finished his schoolwork, so everybody is up here hanging out with me. She really doesn't have that much to go through. I like to go through pretty regularly because I know that she's our last baby. I'm not going to be holding on to things. I go through and I purge things that she's outgrown. So she really didn't have too much, but I did want to get that done today. And then I checked in her closet just to make sure that there wasn't anything extra in there. I do hang on to clothing from the older kids for the younger ones. So even though there's a pretty big gap between Nora and Avalie, I did hold on to some of Nora's things that were still in really good condition, and I will use them with Abby if it works. So there are some boxes of clothing in there, but not too many things. So as you can see, getting a glimpse into her closet, she really doesn't have that much, and that's really just a personality thing for me. I don't like having a lot of extra things hanging around, especially for the little kids. All of the clothing, I find that I'm just dressing them in the same, I would say 5 to 7 outfits on a regular basis anyway. So I don't like having a lot of extra clothing around, especially when they're this little. Once that was done, I just went through and wiped down all of the surfaces in her room using the method multi-surface spray. I didn't worry about vacuuming her room because I had done that earlier this week, but the surfaces, I hadn't gotten to those, especially her crib, so I knew that those needed to get done today. And then I also washed her window. Alright you guys, so this is the kids' playroom. It's upstairs with the rest of their bedrooms because it was the original master bedroom for the home. The bedroom that Nathan and I have is downstairs, and it was an addition not too long ago. So this is the original master. As you can see, we also do use it for guests when they come in from out of town. My mom was in town around Thanksgiving, and this is where she stayed. And their playroom, it gets messy. I was in here looking through things, just making sure there wasn't anything else that I wanted to add to what I had in the back of the car to donate, and there really wasn't. I'm trying to hold on to some things at least through this next year because Avalie is going to be going into those toddler years, so waiting until she's a little bit older and I kind of figure out what she's enjoying to play with and then things that are just not being played with enough. But right now we have a small enough amount of toys that everything they rotate through pretty regularly. So really we just needed to come in here and pick up. And I love those large plastic storage totes. I got those from Target, and we have the bigger items. Let's see, there's a VTech train set in there, and the magnet tile building Picasso tile things. I'm not quite sure what brand they are, but those are in a container. And then there's also a set of Marble Works, which I'm gonna have to be moving those to the closet once Abby gets a little bit older, but right now that's done a really great job of containing all the marble pieces and all of that. But I love those plastic totes. It makes it so much easier when I send the kids up to clean. I mean, they still fight and argue and don't really like being up here to clean, but it's pretty easy for them to clean up when they set their minds to it. Just throw it all in the tote, and they're pretty heavy duty, which I really love because the boxes for things just get torn apart. So we haven't invested in any sort of like shelving or anything when it comes to the playroom, and that is mainly because we do move so much. We just like to keep everything very small and easy to pack away. So right now everything's just on the floor, but I do really love those plastic totes for all of their things that have a ton of pieces. So next up was Nora's room, and I did the same thing that I did in my room. We pulled everything out of her closet and just went through it all and checked some sizes, and there wasn't too much to donate. She does grow pretty slowly, so she gets a lot of use out of her clothing for a long time, and she's almost 8, and I did find quite a bit of size 6 clothing that she can still wear, but because she's had it for like, I don't know, almost 2 years now, I think, there is a lot of wear and tear on them. So I wanted to get rid of those and get her closet ready for some spring clothing as well, but there wasn't too much to do. Alright you guys, so the final thing that I tackled today was the boys' closet, and it took the longest time. I actually cut quite a bit out of the video because it was just taking too long. This is already a fairly long video, and having 2 of them together, their clothing is sort of a constant struggle. As you can see, we don't do dressers. All of their clothing is hung up, and then we just fold their pants and shorts and put them on the shelves. And I mean, it works for us. Again, we don't want to have a lot of big furniture because we do move. We still are not quite settled where we want to be permanently yet, but they do pull it down all the time, all their clothing. And then because they are fairly close in age, they're 20 months apart. Like I said, I hold on to clothing from the older kids, so I have held on to a decent amount of Dane's clothing for Warren. And they're close enough in age that it doesn't make sense to put the boxes in long-term storage, but then that means that it's going to be sitting in their closet for a little while until Warren can wear it. So that's what that box is. It's leftovers from Dane, and I'm just going through because there were some size 4 clothing, and Warren's going to be coming up on 4 in April. So I'm putting those into his closet and then going through and making sure that all of the clothing that Dane has grown out of got out of there. And there was a good amount for them actually. And then this is their underwear and sock drawer, and I just put it all together because they end up wearing the same thing anyway. I mean, Dane's pretty good about checking sizes, so he's not usually trying to fit into Warren's size 3 underwear, but it just made more sense to put them all together. And then again, when they're asked to clean up, it's super simple. They just throw it all in the basket. And really the only thing that I needed to do in here was just go through and make sure that I was pulling out all of the socks that had holes in them. Dane is actually pretty hard on his socks. He likes to slide around on the floors a lot, so his socks have quite a few holes. And then I came through here with the vacuum. This is my old vacuum that I've now put upstairs, and it's just going to be up here permanently. It's a lot of why I love having the Dyson vacuum downstairs. Hauling this thing up and down the stairs was really difficult. It's actually pretty heavy, so it's really nice that it can just be upstairs, and then we just use it for the rooms up here now. Alright you guys, so here's a look at everything that we are donating today. I'm really happy that it was this much stuff, mainly clothing. Like I said, there are some kids' books, bike helmets, and a few other small toys, but it felt really good to go through, again, get the closets ready for springtime, get all of the old sizes out, and it's just so refreshing going through and organizing. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it motivational. I have a lot of fun filming these. Like I said, they take a little while, but they are fun to film, and it's neat that the kids like to be involved so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys with the next video.